Hi. So I just tried this. Oh, is it not going? Why isn't this one? Oh, no, it's recording. Okay. So I'm sorry. Our PDF, when I had tried to put it into MATLAB, the formatting got all messed up. And I know that I'm supposed to run this through MATLAB, but I don't think I'll be able to. I would basically have to rewrite the entire code, which I don't think I can do within that time. So I'm just going to run through the PDF really quickly and kind of say what would come where, what we've used, what how it just kind of, just like goes from one part of the code to the next, and what will be displayed. So let me start off. So here we have our main script, and from here we call each of the functions that we had written within the main script. So it starts off with the loading the crime data, and then goes to the function where it finds the minimum and the maximum zip code and prompts the user to enter a zip code. And then from there, it runs to the number of crimes within that zip code in the latitude and the longitude. And then from there, it goes yada, 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 which I will explain very shortly. So here we have our crime loading script, mfile. Basically, the whole purpose of this file is to load the Excel sheet into MATLAB and to convert the text within that into numbers that we can use in order to calculate and find the number of crimes within a certain neighborhood, within a certain zip code. So just kind of going big and then smaller. So it starts off with here, some comments. We're assigning the file name, which can be found up there. I'm sorry, I keep pointing. Can be found up here. File name is here. Setting out our format within the Excel sheet so that it can be easily loaded into MATLAB. File ID right there. Data array. So now what we're doing is that MATLAB is going to read the columns of data according to the format which we specified up there with format spec, and then it'll call based upon the structure of the file, and if an error occurs for a different file, you'll have to try regenerating the code from the import tool. So then from there, what you would do is you would go up to the top of MATLAB. I'm just going to pull up MATLAB, import data right there. So yeah, scroll up. Oh geez, did not mean to do that. I'm sorry. How much time? Wait, 6 minutes. Okay, gotta hurry. So here what we're doing is we're converting the words within the numbers and columns into numbers that we can then use, as I mentioned earlier, to calculate all of our stuff. So here we go, for column is equal to the length, 1 to the length of the data array minus 1. So we're going to the second to last column, going to convert all of the words within there into numbers. Numeric data is equal to not a number, size the data array 1. And then here are 19, converts the input cell array numbers, replaces non-numeric text with not a number. So anything that's not a number that we can't use, we're just going to replace that with not a number because it's useless to us. Okay, so here, once all of this has been done, we have our anonymous function right here, finds numeric. This is very important to us because this section right here takes each column and assigns it to a vector. So within our, don't tell me, within our Excel sheet, like the second column, cell 2, was called crime ID. So now if we want to call up the crime IDs, we're able to just do that by calling up DPD all crime incidents December 6, 2016 to present dot crime ID. We're able to pull up everything that we need from there. And we can also do that for the type of report, the incident address, the offense description, category. So we'll be using those throughout the rest of the project. So right here, we just kind of clear all of our other variables because we don't need them anymore since we have all of our columns and numbers. So now we're on to my part of the function. This is the part I wrote. It was using for loops and a case switch. We use for loops in order to find the minimum and the maximum zip code. And then we use the case switch in order to prompt the user to enter a zip code. And if it was not within a certain range of numbers, or if it was not, within a certain range of numbers, we'd have an error displayed saying it's not within this. You can see this right here. It's not within the Detroit area zip code. Please enter a new one. So a new one would be entered, and then once that was all complete, move on to the next section of code. So this section of code, as I kind of mentioned earlier, takes the crime within the certain zip code that has been entered and displays the number of crimes that occurred within the zip code since 2016. The user will be prompted from a menu to pick a neighborhood, and then you can then see the latitude and longitude of the crimes that have happened within that neighborhood, which is pretty neat if you ask me. And then from there, this is, just plotting X and Y, latitude and longitude on a graph for the user to be able to see. So now we have the crimes per neighborhood. So now we're looking at the number of crimes per neighborhood, and also we're looking at the specific crimes that happened within that said neighborhood. So right here, we're just setting our unique variables, and we're setting whatever we need to in order to have everything run very smoothly. So right here we have this so that if the occurrences are less than 0, nothing's going to be displayed because it's not really very important. If it doesn't show up, the user can assume that nothing is happening there. So once all of the crimes have been accounted for that's happened in said neighborhood and their tallies have been counted, we have a bar graph set to show all the crimes that happen in the neighborhood, and just kind of like boom, 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 boom. So we have that. We have the average number of crimes that happens within that neighborhood, and then we found the standard deviation compared to, it's the average of the crime average of the crime in that neighborhood, compared that with the standard deviation of the number of crimes that happens within all of that. Standard deviation, yep. Alrighty, right there. So now moving on to the next section of code. And then this one determines neighborhoods within the zip code and allows users to select unique categories. So the user is not very, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. The user is not prompted for anything here. It just follows on from the variables from the previous section. So it goes through, and then, oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I'm totally blanking on what's happening right here, right now. Oh, this is just more analysis based upon the number of crimes that happens within the neighborhood that the user selected, and comes out with more just kind of statistics based on the number of crimes that happens within that neighborhood since December 6th, 2016. And it goes a little further to also determine within a set precinct within that neighborhood the number of crimes that's occurring, the number of precincts that are within the neighborhood, and if there are more than one, there are several precincts, including a precinct. Yeah. So that takes care of that section, mostly just talking about the precincts and the neighborhoods and the crimes. And I have like 10 seconds left. So this last section takes all the crimes that occur within that neighborhood and shows a histogram from that data. and displays it, shows